I never thought that the quiet streets of our little town could hide something so unsettling, but that night changed everything. My younger sister, Lily, and I had just finished dinner when I noticed the way she tensed, eyes darting toward the window as if sensing something I couldn't yet see. It was subtle at first, a shadow slipping past the street lamp, the faint crunch of footsteps on gravel. But to Lily, who's always been sensitive to the world around her, it was loud and clear, a warning whispered on the wind. I remember the way she clutched my hand tightly, her small fingers trembling. That's when I realized this wasn't just a passing feeling. Something was wrong, and I was the only one who could keep her safe. The house felt suddenly too big, too exposed. Every creak in the floorboards, every gust of wind against the window felt like a threat. I pulled Lily close, wrapping my arms around her like a shield. "It's okay," I murmured, though my own heart was pounding. "I'm right here, no one's going to hurt you." But inside, I was scrambling, trying to figure out what was coming and how to stop it. Lily's eyes searched mine, searching for that spark of certainty that would calm her fears. I hoped she saw it there, because I had to believe we could get through this together. Outside, the footsteps grew louder, more deliberate. I could hear the faint scrape of a branch against the siding, a reminder that someone was moving closer, watching us from the darkness. I edged toward the door, signaling Lily to stay behind me. Every fiber in my body screamed to run, to barricade us inside, but I knew we couldn't hide forever. We had to face whatever was out there. The cold metal of the doorknob pressed under my palm as I glanced back at Lily. Her wide eyes, shimmering with unshed tears, gave me the courage I needed. I swallowed the knot in my throat and stepped outside. The night air hit my face like a gust of icy wind. Shapes shifted in the shadows, and I could feel eyes on us from every direction. My protective instincts flared, sharpening my senses to a razor's edge. A figure emerged from the darkness, hesitant but deliberate. My heart stuttered as I recognized him, someone from the neighborhood, someone we thought we knew, but who now felt like a stranger. He stopped a few feet away, hands raised in a gesture that was meant to calm, but only added to the tension. I kept Lily close, not letting go for a second, feeling the weight of responsibility like a shield over my shoulders. His voice was low, almost apologetic, but the unease in his eyes told a different story. I didn't know what he wanted or why he was here, but I knew I had to protect my sister at all costs. The seconds stretched endlessly as I weighed my options. Trust felt like a fragile thread ready to snap, but fear pushed me to stand firm, to be the guardian Lily needed. "Stay behind me," I whispered fiercely, my voice steady despite the chaos inside. Lily nodded, her faith in me a lifeline in the storm of uncertainty. The man shifted his gaze to Lily briefly, and I caught a flicker of something unreadable. That moment felt like a test, and I was determined not to let it break us. Suddenly, the night exploded with noise, a dog barking in the distance, a car speeding down the street, and the tension snapped just enough for me to pull Lily back inside. I slammed the door shut behind us, locking it with trembling hands. The safety of our home felt fragile, but it was ours, and for now, that was enough. Lily collapsed against me, her breath coming in quick bursts. I held her close, whispering promises of protection and love, even as my mind raced with questions I couldn't answer. The night stretched on, the shadows outside refusing to retreat. But inside, we clung to each other, finding strength in our bond and the fierce love that would never let us fall. I knew this was only the beginning. The quiet town had secrets, and we were about to uncover them, side by side, as sisters and protectors. The hours passed slowly, every sound outside making us jump. I kept watch by the window, eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of movement, every instinct on high alert. Lily's head rested against my chest, her small hands clutching my shirt as if anchoring herself in my presence. That simple act filled me with a fierce determination to keep her safe, no matter what. I thought back to all the times she had been there for me, the laughter and tears we shared, and how now it was my turn to be her shield against the unknown. A sudden creak upstairs made us both freeze. My heart leapt into my throat as I realized we weren't alone in the house. The protective walls we trusted felt suddenly vulnerable. I grabbed a flashlight and a heavy book from the shelf, ready to defend us. Every shadow seemed to twist into a threatening shape, but I forced myself to stay calm. Lily squeezed my hand tighter, her eyes wide but trusting. I whispered, "I've got you," even though my own fear gnawed at me from the inside. Step by step, we moved toward the stairs, the beam of light shaking slightly in my grip. The silence was thick, broken only by the faint sound of something shifting above. As we reached the landing, a sudden noise made us both jump, a chair scraping back, a soft voice calling out. It was someone else, someone we hadn't expected. Relief and confusion collided as I recognized our neighbor, Mrs. Harper, who had come to check on us after hearing the commotion. Her presence was a balm in the tense night. We let her in, and the three of us huddled together, sharing whispered stories and cautious glances. The night's shadows felt a little less threatening with another person by our side. Mrs. Harper told us about strange noises she'd heard all evening, about lights flickering down the street, and a feeling of unease that had settled over the neighborhood like a dark cloud. I realized then that this wasn't just about protecting Lily. We were part of something bigger, a mystery that bound the whole town in silent fear. The weight of responsibility pressed down on me, but I refused to let it crush the hope I carried for my sister and for all of us. Together, we formed a quiet pact to watch over each other, to face the unknown with courage and the unbreakable bond of family and community. As dawn approached, the shadows began to fade, but the memory of that night lingered, a reminder that love and protection are the fiercest weapons we have. I looked down at Lily's sleeping face, peaceful at last, and vowed silently to never let anything harm her, no matter the cost. But deep inside, I knew this was only the start of a long road ahead, one where sisterly love would be tested like never before. The world outside was waking up, but inside, a new kind of vigilance had taken root, one born from fear, hope, and an unshakable promise. I didn't know what came next, but I was ready to face it, for Lily, for us, for the love that would always protect and endure. The morning light spilled softly through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the room. For a moment, it felt like we had won, like the night's darkness was behind us. But the unease lingered, a quiet whisper that reminded me danger could return when we least expected it. I steeled myself, knowing that every day would bring new challenges, but also new reasons to fight for the sister I loved more than anything. Lily stirred awake, blinking sleep from her eyes. She smiled at me, and in that simple gesture, I found the strength to keep going. We shared a breakfast filled with nervous laughter and whispered plans, trying to hold on to normalcy even as the shadows of the night lingered. Outside, the world seemed calm again, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the story was far from over. I promised myself that I'd be ready to protect, to fight, and to love fiercely no matter what the future held. Because some bonds go beyond words, beyond fear, beyond anything else. Sisterly love is a force that refuses to be broken. And as long as I draw breath, I will be Lily's shield, her guardian, her unwavering protector. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Together, we could face anything. And so, the night's terror became a catalyst, awakening a fierce determination that would guide us through the darkness and into whatever lay beyond. I looked out the window one last time before stepping into the day, the morning sun promising a new beginning, but my heart remained alert. Because in this small town, peace was fragile, and sisterly love was the strongest defense against the unknown. And I was ready to fight for it forever. The house was quiet now, but the memory of the night's fear echoed in every corner, a reminder that safety is never guaranteed. I held Lily's hand tightly as we prepared to face the day, knowing that protecting her was more than a duty, it was my purpose. We stepped outside into the sunlight, but the shadows of the night still clung to us, unseen but deeply felt. Lily looked up at me with trusting eyes, and I knew that no matter what came next, we would face it together. Because sisterly love isn't just about blood or words, it's about standing firm when everything else shakes. And as we walked down the street, side by side, I felt a fire ignite inside me, a promise to be her protector in a world that could be cruel and uncertain. The journey was just beginning, and I was ready to face every challenge with love as my armor. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the secrets of the night, but also the hope of a new dawn. And as long as we had each other, I believed we could weather any storm. Because in the end, sisterly love is the fiercest force of all, unyielding, unbreakable, and endlessly protective. And I was determined to prove it every day for as long as I lived. The sun climbed higher, illuminating the world around us, but I kept my gaze steady, knowing danger could hide in the brightest places. Lily skipped ahead, carefree for a moment, and I let myself smile, grateful for this fragile peace. But beneath the surface, I was always alert, always ready to defend the sister who had given me a reason to be brave. This was our story, a tale of protection, of love tested by fear, and the unbreakable bond that held us together through it all. And as the day unfolded, I knew that whatever shadows lingered, our sisterly love would shine brighter still. Because some promises aren't just spoken, they're lived, breathed, and fought for every single day. And I was ready to live mine, fiercely and without hesitation. The world around us was vast and unpredictable, but in the small space between us, there was strength and safety. Lily's laughter rang out, pure and innocent, and I vowed to protect that light no matter what darkness tried to creep in. Because sisterly love is more than a feeling, it's a shield forged in moments of fear and fierce devotion. And I was proud to carry that shield for her, now and always. As we walked home, the breeze played with Lily's hair, and I felt a surge of hope for the future, uncertain but bright with possibility. Though the night had threatened to break us, it had only made our bond stronger, a flame that would never be extinguished. And in that strength, I found the courage to face whatever came next, with Lily by my side. Because no matter the shadows that lurked, sisterly love was our light, fierce, unyielding, and eternal. And that was a promise I intended to keep for all the days to come. The journey was far from over, but with every step, I felt more ready to protect, to love, and to fight for the sister who meant everything. The quiet strength between us was a testament to what love can do, transform fear into courage, darkness into light. And as the sun set behind the hills, I knew our story was just beginning, a tale of protection bound by an unbreakable sisterly bond. Because in this world, some loves are a shield, and mine would never falter. And as long as I breathe, I will guard her fiercely and without end.